All right, we got AC up in the house. Y'all favorite Piru, the one that y'all say stories sound more correct than the rest. Uh, so AC, let me ask you, what's your opinion on Blood Alley being Bloods in the 1960s?
Well, as far as Blood Alley being Bloods, it's so big. But see, I had a concept on that Blood Alley then back in the 60s. So, you know what I'm saying? That wasn't something that I really had to, focus on.
What part does the old saying "Young Bloods" have to do with the Bloods, if any?
Actually, man, Young Blood was something we was common amongst all of us, blacks. You could be a Crip, anybody. But then since the Crips adopted that word cuz, kept on saying cuz, a lot of us in the jailhouse, yourself saying, didn't have that was not Crips, didn't have a word that connected us. We had to do something to make us different. You know what I'm saying? In other words, that was like the party you represent being against the Crips at that time. So blood was competing for us, and that's why we used that word blood. And I don't think we were using it to be young bloods at the time. We were doing that, using it to put all those that were opposed against the Crips, to unite as one.
So, how you feel about the term "blood" being used after the Korean War in the '50s and Vietnam War in the '60s? Same thing.
Tell you the truth, brother. My mindset didn't focus on none of that. I keep 100 with you because like I said, I've been ignorant, just like the rest of those who was with me, just trying to focus on establishing ourselves.
Are you familiar with the Brims?
Of course I am.
What year did you first hear of the Brims?
About the same time, about 69.
Do you know your big homie Elgin Trammell?
Do I know Elgin? The president want to run for mayor of Compton? Yeah, I know Elgin. I know Elgin, Big Country. I've been all them at the same time back in the days.
You said he ran for mayor of Compton.
Yeah, that's my boy. He stayed over there on, what's that, Highland off of, Poplar. He stayed on Poplar. His mother stayed on Poplar at the time, yeah.
When did you first meet him?
I met Elgin back in, I met him about the same time I met Country, because Country introduced me to Elgin back in 72.
All right, did Piru become tight with bounty hunters before or after the Robert Ballou murder?
I would say after.
Are Pirus and Bloods one and the same?
You get better recognize that. You better recognize it. It's like Piru though, because we didn't start out being Piru Bloods. Like I said, no gang that's known to be Bloods today had put the word blood at the end of that, gang title. You know what I'm saying? It's like we were never Piru Bloods. We was Piru brothers. Like Bonnie Hunter was no Bonnie Hunter Bloods, no Lane wasn't Diddle Lane Bloods, and the Brims wasn't Brim Bloods. They're like everybody was representing their gang at that one time. They were like independent gangs. Nobody was really affiliated and considered themselves Bloods at that time.
Was there ever any conflict with Pirus outside of Compton, like in the Rosewood area?
Me coming up, no. Now, not during my days because we all loved each other. You understand what I'm saying? We really stood up for each other. We all wanted for each other what we wanted for ourselves. You see what I'm saying?
Was you around when Campanella Park became Pirus?
Of course. That's of course. And that wasn't an easy task either because they had some guy over there at Campanella Park called us a preacher back in the day that had like that hood over there kind of sold up. Well, sooner or later, you know what I'm saying, we all got together and, we affiliated ourselves with them and we became one.
Who were some of the hitters from over there?
Shit. You got Brother Bacon's, and it's just, that's one of the main names, one of the main names, Bacon's and shit. They were kind of like reputable brothers on that in Campanella.
What happened to West Park Piru?
Oh man, I really can't call it, man, because before I went to Hawaii, back in '72, my other brother named Caruso, there's a Muslim brother named Caruso, Brother Gregory, and Caruso, I how to say his name, but that brother, he really united us with West Park, and I had brothers over there like Vincent Jones, Steel Bill, it was a few people over there from West Park that we embraced us, and we embraced them, we all became, a unit together.
What hood is that now?
I heard something like Track News or something like that.
You ever heard of Enterprise Park?
Of course.
Whose hood is that now?
That's all West Side.
That's West Side Park?
Oh, that's all West Side. Enterprise, Gonzales, especially how you want to call it.
What year did the war start between the Crips and the Pirus?
Actually, 72, as it came to its end, it became a situation where couldn't be amended. So that's when love kind of like got real deteriorated. You know what I mean?
Tell me what was going on in 1973.
73. Well, basically me at 73, I was unfortunately I had to be taken off the street behind some work I had got accused of doing. You know what I'm saying? I ended up doing a little time. You know what I mean? I went off to YTS, but it was really rough in 73 because it was a lot. That's when the real shooting and all that kind of stuff started taking place amongst the brothers.
So you was on the street when all the shooting started.
Of course.
And then you end up in YA for a case. Somebody said there was 33 gang-related murders in Compton in 1973.
Uh-huh.
And you said,
was no first blood gang.
but when was the blood alliance cemented? Before 74, in 74, or after 74?
I'm say right now, brother man, we was forced to be blood because like when I went to jail for my case, I went to jail for, I was a loner. Yeah, I was a bad guy, considered to be a tough guy with a reputable name and shit. But when I'm in jail, and I'm against a powerful force like the Crips, who was all united, because there was no separation amongst Crips at that time. You know what I mean? You was a Crip, you was welcome to the family. They had one big old family. When I went to jail, I established myself with others to support me. You feel what I'm saying? You didn't necessarily have to be Piru because I was like a loner Piru. You know, if I had another homie in there, he was on the way on the other side of the institution. You know what I'm saying? We had to meet up, and it wasn't easy to come together because we go on that line, you got to get down with a whole bunch of Crips. You know what I'm saying? So we had to form an alliance. And a lot of us was getting beat up, beat down, rat packed, jumped on, and other people still didn't watch that because they was there before me and they had got comfortable in the situation where they could start saying cuz wasn't a bad name to everybody. Then, like I said, we had to adopt the name Blood and use that as our primary language to identify each other. And those who had know that it was not Crips had to stop saying cuz. And we had to form that alliance in jail. It didn't happen on the streets.
Who started Bloods?
Well, I got to say this here, man. I got to tell you the truth, I became instrumental. I got to be the one that was instrumental in using the word blood to differentiate us from becoming those that were trying to slide through doing time as Crips. You know what I'm saying? Because if you said cuz, a Crip would automatically assume, because there was so many of them, that you was one of them. You know what I'm saying? And you could just sit back and watch another homie get beat down. People that knew they was in there and didn't like Crips was acting like they really liked the Crips. You know what I'm saying? NYA back in '74, right? And they would watch another homie get beat down and stumped down. They wouldn't represent their hood they really was from until they got discovered. And then all hell would break loose. They get beat down. So I said I and Ray Boyce, along with Lorenzo, Lil Vince, you know what I'm saying, came to terms, you know what I'm saying, that's what we were gonna do. Stop saying cuz. You feel what I'm saying? But it was my idea. And I could take full responsibility for that.
So, in mentioning Ray Boyce, that means the Pyrus and Bounty Hunters was tight.
Very, we call ourselves bounty rules that, you know, we were trying to do something to link us together. But then actually, who really tied with us to Bloods was the police. Because at first, when they recognized me being the one that was being so rebellious, you know what I'm saying? And determined to do things to make Crips challenge me. I was always showing them I had a challenge for NYA. And when I did that, people from like San Bernardino, they weren't even gang members. But they was all treated just like they was enemies of the Crips, because if you wasn't a Crip, they would call you off-brand. You see, all the off-brands got together, and they saw me stand up for myself as a loner, and say, man, as long as you get down, bro, we got your back. And that's how we kind of like formed, and they was instrumental also, as well as agreeing with me to call each other Bloods instead of Crips, and just let them know that, you know, we're not trying to be nothing like them.
So it wasn't no Brim Rue alliance?
This was Bounty Hunter Brim, it was Bounty Rue Brims, you know what I'm saying? But first it was like Bounty Rue, then Bounty Rue Brims, and who knows, it was then the police saw, actually the police did us a favor, because a lot of times when another homie would come in, and we recognize he sent us a kite, we'd tell the police, hey man, we got a homie between Y and Z. You know, that's the orientation unit. And can you bring him down here with us, right? Because they would, and during their orientation, they asked who you run with, the Pyrus or the Crips. You know what I'm saying? And they figured everybody was a Piru because I was a Piru. You know what I'm saying? So actually, they had to change that question, like, who you run with, the Bloods or the Crips? You know what I'm saying? And that's how we got our name as as a whole as being Bloods, because that was the way they categorized us as Bloods, because they stopped calling everybody Piru, because a lot of people, I'm not from Piru, I'm a bounty hunter. I'm not a Piru, I'm a Brim. You know what I'm saying? I'm not Piru, I'm a family. So keep it easy. You was either Blood or Crip, and the police organized that.
Is Westside Piru and Carson the spinoff Westside Piru and Compton?
I got a homie named Bodacious. You know what I'm saying? As my boy Puddin' older brother, he moved out there, like Scottsdale and all that, and Carson and whatever. Just so and the energy just got to start spreading.
And they got a lot of Samoans from Carson.
Yeah, you do.
Cherokee.
What's the story behind Jarvis Street Piru?
Oh man, we all went to school together. You know what I mean? That's our neighborhood, and like who's known now, those guys are now considered to be at this park today. But back in the day, we all went to Vanguard and Centennial together, and we supported each other. And Mr. Don Turner was one of the real legends over there. You know what I'm saying? That put Jarvis Street, and John Turner, Monk, and all them kind of guys, they all got together and Teddy Too Tall, all of them just joined hands, George Bush, and we came Pirates over there, Jarvis Street Pirates. Tony Fentus, Smokey, all them people.
So Jarvis Street converted to Athens Park, or the next generation became?
The generations to follow. I say it was the next two. I was about the third or fourth generation became Athens Park. Because everybody else, followed behind until, a lot of us went to jail. You know what I mean? Just as everything changed, everybody started fighting each other, all that crazy shit, like Crips fighting Crips and Bloods started fighting Bloods, whatever. But see, that happened because we separated ourselves. You know what I mean? Get that little astronomical dates and shit, so nobody, was there to maintain that linkage.
When did Campanella come in? Before or after Ludus Park?
Okay, that's a good question. I think Campanella came after Ludus Park. Had to, because we didn't have no other Pyrus there. Ludus Park was basically the east side. You feel me?
East Side Pyro.
Yeah, because that was during the time when we was running with the West Side and the Crips and you know what I mean? And we had an alliance and we had a truce. You feel me? We were all like, we could go to parties together, attend things together, until we holler, Piru here, and they start holler, Crip here. And then like every other gang, like Mona Park and Carver Park had already turned, they named to Crips. Then the front street, because there would be front boys, they turned to front boy Crips, front hood Crips, right? But then they was always asking Piru, because I'm the only one that's original Crip, from Piru Street, right? But everybody else never been Crips. But we all had alliance, and a lot of us had learned to love Crips and had partners, from the other side, you know what I'm saying? And the thing is like this, one thing led to another, man, and we wouldn't name our name with the Crips, right? We wouldn't. We were just Pyrus. That's when the war began, man.
Did you guys have any fights at Will Rogers Park?
A lot of times we went there, especially during those those watch festivals and shit, and it was kind of hard.
Who was y'all fighting?
During the time, the very first one, we were still like united and had no problems. The very first one, but then like the first time we went like 71, we had a good time because all the Crips, everybody was there, right? But then the second 72, the war had already begun amongst Pirates and the Crips. They had separated and became two different gangs that fight each other. And we had to go where we had to team up with other gangs like Projects, Nixon's, Dimmer Lanes, and Athens Park, and all just go up there together so we could have at least a crowd almost as big as the Crips.
Was Hacienda in the village around back then?
Yeah, but back at that time, they hadn't been fully established to the point where, you know what I'm saying, they had a name for themselves like that.
Elgin said he wants all the original Bloods to sit down. Would you be willing to sit down and discuss the origins of Blood with the founder of other Blood gangs?
I'm gonna do this here with anybody. As long as we keep it 100, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna try to put together no history by what I think happened. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put together the history by what I know happened, because I'm a part of that and I was experienced it. I'm a part who walked that walk. You know what I'm saying? Elgin is original. That's like, he's an OG brand. Don't make no mistakes about it. Big country is OG brand. You know what I mean? Don't make no mistakes about it. I still support anybody who don't really have the answers on how the origins, just the true origin of certain things. Because because everybody is a powerful person in their own right. Just keep it 100 and lace people, because they, like I said, even though I got the knowledge of stuff, I'm not trying to make myself no better than the next person or none of that, and I really don't glorify none of this shit. I mean, if I had to do it all over again, I'd stay my black ass in school. You know what I'm saying? Became a better person.
And you put a book out, right?
Yes, sir.
What's the name of that book?
The name of my book is The Starting Lineup. The Origin of the Christian Bloods Begin.
And why'd you put that book out?
Because I wanted to let it be known, man, the lifestyle I live, you know what I'm saying? The people that's going behind us, you know, the trend that we set, it's not the trend to follow. You understand what I'm saying? It's okay to love your neighbors. You know, I think we need to start loving our people. That's where I feel right now today. Because people who I thought was my enemies, that was a misconcept. You know, you only became my enemy because I hurt one of you and you hurt one of us. You know what I'm saying? And we kept continue to do that without ignorance. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I feel about it right now. Today, man, I don't want to see another black man go in the hands of another black man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see that no more. I'm not with it.
All right, good looking out, AC.